Joe Biden picked a pretty weird time to take a year off, an election year, kind of disappeared. His running mate did too. She didn't hold a single press conference. That's kind of impressive in a perverse way. It's been 100 years since someone won the presidency from the front porch. Not that Biden has won, hoping he doesn't. But if he does, he'll be the first since Warren G. Harding. Harding didn't have corporations working on his behalf. So why did Biden go with that strategy? Roger Kimball is with American Greatness, wrote a really smart piece, one of many he's written about this today. We're happy to have him on tonight. Roger Kimball, great to see you. So tell us about the basement strategy. What did it amount to?
Well, it wasn't a strategy propagated by Joe Biden. Joe Biden is a kind of cipher or empty bladder into which has been injected the somnolent but dangerous agenda of wokeness and identity politics, the far left wing of the Democratic Party. He has no real ideas of his own. He merely excretes what he's demanded to excrete on cue. I think everybody looking at this election has to have understood that it was one of the things that was so odd about it was that the president would be dashing around the country, giving press conferences, holding interviews. He talked to anyone. In the last several weeks of the election, he was, holding 2, 3, 4, 5 rallies a day all across the country. Toward the very end of the campaign, he covered 3,000 miles in 5 different states when Joe Biden went 30 miles from his house to talk to 12 or 15 people in Pennsylvania. It was an incredible contrast. Why would that be? Because Joe Biden understood that the fix was in. And the fix was in. You could see it in the pollsters, the wild exaggeration of Joe Biden's numbers all down the campaign. He's ahead by 10 points, by 15 points. It's going to be a blowout, not only in the presidential race, but also in the congressional race. This was clearly turned out to be not the case. Then, of course, it was big media. The media was 100% behind Biden and against the bad orange man. And then it was the big interest. It was the, not only big media, big money, Wall Street. It was big China, definitely behind Joe Biden. And finally, it had the deep state apparatchiks. I know some people don't like that phrase, deep state. But these are the people who, the army of people who on the ground we have video evidence of it, instruct postal workers to hand stamp ballots for the previous time so that they could be counted. How is it possible, and we have this, I believe, from the world's greatest psephologist, Nate Silver, that 23,000 ballots showed up in Philadelphia, all bearing the name of Joe Biden? That is an impossibility unless it was on purpose. So Joe Biden didn't really campaign. He merely offered himself up for acclamation by the party of woke identity politics.
Probably not 15 people in this whole country who know what Joe Biden really believes and want to be led by him. He was irrelevant to this process. Roger Kimball, one of the rare people who speaks as crisply as he writes. It's a pleasure to have you on tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry.
Our time is done this week. We'll see you Monday.